I think the court is making a big mistake here.
Mr. Matson,
I've never signed anything to
Mr. Matson, if you don't stop talking, I'm going to your device.
Well, I didn't want
Mr. Matson,
Daly
stop
as my
talking.
attorney. I'm a living flesh and blood man. They're trying to sentence all caps names. It's not me. I'm a living flesh and blood man. You're after a fictional person.
Up against the most no-nonsense judge I've ever seen. The judge doesn't take any of this guy's BS, even though the sovereign citizen just keeps talking nonstop. It's honestly one of the most frustrating back and forths I've witnessed with a guy who clearly doesn't know when to quit. But the judge, savage, totally shuts this dude down at every turn. Seriously, let me know in the comments what you think this guy's IQ is, because from where I'm sitting, it's probably room temperature at best. Anyway, let's jump in and watch as the sovereign citizen gets absolutely wrecked by the judge's brutal sentencing.
Judge, that's God Almighty. That's who I recognize.
And sir, you are Robert Joseph Matson, correct?
Well, I'm a living flesh and blood man, attorney for a public officer or statutory citizen, judge. I'm a living flesh and blood man.
All right, you are the living flesh and blood man who's known as Robert Matson, correct?
Attorney for Robert Joseph Matson, which would be the all caps name. Judge, there was something that I was trying to talk to my attorney about. Before you let me out of the hospital, I was in the hospital or the jail. I was experiencing a lot of pain and trouble. The jail was not treating me properly. After I got out of the jail, I went to the hospital, and they hurried and rushed me to Toledo Hospital, where I almost died. Had I not been released from jail when I did, I would be dead in that county jail.
All right, Mr. Matson, we're here for your sentencing hearing today. I'm not really able to address issues of medical treatment while at the jail.
Well, I was just saying that there was something I agreed to.
Mr. Matson, don't interrupt me, please. The medical treatment that people receive at the jail is not within my purview, and I'm not going to address that today. So,
well, I just saying I was going to correct my.
Mr. Matson, do not interrupt me, please. Have you had an opportunity to read and review your pre-sentence report?
I did with the secretary for Mr. Daly.
Have you had an opportunity to discuss your pre-sentence report with Mr. Daly?
I haven't had an opportunity to discuss it with him. I did with the secretary.
My secretary got a hold of him.
Mr. Daly, if you could just let me allow him to finish his answer. What were you saying, Mr. Matson?
I did with the secretary. I talked to her over the phone and told her everything looked good. And I believe Mr. Daly was supposed to get back a hold of me. I don't know if he got too busy or something else happened.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Matson. Mr. Daly, you wanted to say something on that issue.
Yes, my secretary contacted him in regards to the PSI. He said everything was right. He had no complaints about anything. I still tried to contact him back, didn't get an answer.
All right. So what we'll do is if Mr. Daly, if you'd be willing to step out into the hallway, we have an iPad out there that we can log into the Zoom session. And
I don't think he needs that. He's ready to be sentenced, Your Honor. You have any other questions, Mr. Matson?
Yeah, Judge, I think the court is making a big mistake here.
Yeah, the court is definitely making a huge mistake here, right? Definitely not the guy who's clearly out of his mind. To me, it honestly feels like this guy needs to be in a mental asylum where he can keep arguing with walls, because that seems to be what he's best at. I mean, how does threatening a judge right before sentencing even help your case? It was kind of a threat, I guess, but honestly, I'm not even sure I'd call it that. What do you guys think? If he thought he was going to win the judge over with that stunt, he might actually be more delusional than we thought. Honestly, at this point, I'm just waiting for him to pull out a tinfoil hat and start rambling about government mind control.
I appreciate that, Mr. Matson. And we've discussed it before.
Any of my rights or immunities. I'm not a statutory citizen. I am sovereign. I'm not somebody who's under the
Mr. Matson,
I've never signed anything for
Mr.
the court.
Matson, if you don't stop talking, I'm going to your device. Okay? I've discussed all of these issues with you before.
Okay,
And
well, I object, but I mean, if
Mr.
you're gonna
Madsen,
sentence me, that's what you're
all
doing.
right. I've muted Mr. Matson's device because he won't stop interrupting me. Mr. Matson, what I'm trying to tell you is that we have discussed these issues before. You've raised those issues. I've ruled against those issues. And ultimately, you pled guilty of your own choice to the controlled substance possession of narcotic less than 25 grams. And so I'm going to sentence you on that charge today. If you'd like, I will have Mr. Daly step into the hall and you can have a breakout session with him so you can speak with him about your pre-sentence investigation report. If you have questions or things that you want to talk with him about regarding that report. So I'm going to unmute your device now, and I want you to tell me whether you want a breakout session with Mr. Daly or not.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now. Do you want a breakout session with Mr. Daly?
Well, I've tried to talk to Mr. Daly before, I mean,
Mr.
about this.
Manson,
And
answer my question. Do you
Yes,
want
sir.
a breakout session with Mr. Daly or not?
Your Honor, you're gonna do what you're gonna do. I mean, I've tried to talk to the courts and reason with the courts. I mean, if you're gonna sentence me today, then I just file for an appeal. I'm an objection to anything that happens today. I was under duress when I took the plea due to my life was at stake.
Mr. Manson, please answer my question. Do you want a breakout session with Mr. Daly or not?
Mr. Daly hasn't been much of help for me, Your Honor. So I mean,
That
the
is
court,
not an answer to my question, Mr. Manson. Please answer the question. You want a breakout session with him or not?
sorry, Your Honor, it just ain't been doing me any help, no justice at all. I mean, I've already said what I had to say. If the courts is going to sentence me today, then that's what they're going to do. I don't agree with anything that's going on today. I'm sorry. It's just my life was at stake when I had talked to the courts.
All right, Mr. Manson, please stop
Yes, sir.
talking. So you refuse to answer my question about whether you want a breakout session with Mr. Daly or not. The law.
Well, I didn't want
Mr.
Mr.
Manson,
Daly
stop
as my
talking.
attorney. Yes, sir.
Is anyone else getting serious Charles Manson vibes, or is that just me? Nah, I'm just messing around, kind of. But seriously, I can't stop staring at this dude's giant hat sitting on his head like he's about to head to a rodeo after court. I'm pretty sure you're not even allowed to wear hats in court, but of course Mr. Sovereign Citizen here thinks he's above the rules. He's basically ticking off every box. Hat on, interrupting nonstop, refusing to answer questions. Yep, he's definitely a sovereign citizen. Honestly, I can't wait to see what happens when the judge finally drops that massive sentence on him.
The record, I placed Mr. Manson on mute again because he's continually interrupting me. Mr. Manson, what I'm trying to explain to you is that you have the right to discuss your pre-sentence report with your attorney before the sentencing. I've asked you 4, 5, maybe 6 times now whether you want to have the opportunity for that breakout session, and you won't give me a simple yes or no answer. So what I'm going to do right now is ask Mr. Daly to step into the hallway. We'll set up that iPad. I'm going to put you in a breakout session with Mr. Daly in order to make sure that I comply with with your rights to have that breakout session. So at this point, I'm going to set that up, whether you want it or not, so that we have complied with that requirement.
A few minutes later.
Judge, I just had a repeat of him from the conversation you already had. I'm prepared for sentencing.
All right, Mr. Manson, you've now had an opportunity to discuss the pre-sentence report with Mr. Daly. Is that correct?
No, he didn't want to hear me, Your Honor. He just told me that he was here to get me sentenced. I tried to talk to him about things. I tried to talk to him before we even went to court about things that was going on with my life and me about dying, and as far as being incarcerated in jail, which he didn't ever try to help me out, because if he would have did an investigation and known that I was in court and I was wrongfully put in jail. I told him I'm not a statutory citizen. I'm a constitutional citizen. I mean, he don't care to do anything to help me. All he cares about is just helping you guys out and get me sucked into the system, and it's wrong.
All right, for the record, I did provide Mr. Manson with an opportunity with Mr. Daly in a breakout session. Mr. Manson.
Yes, sir.
satisfied with Mr. Daly and the advice that he's given you?
I'm not satisfied with the advice he's giving me, no, sir.
Do you wish to explain or challenge the accuracy or the relevancy of any of the information that's in your pre-sentence report?
The stuff that's in the pre-sentence report is directed to a statutory citizen. I'm not a statutory citizen. I'm a constitutional citizen. You cannot be a constitutional person and a statutory person at the same time, Your Honor. You have to be constitutional rights, which the court's designed to protect rights. So I was asking you, Judge, are you working as a banker or a judge today? I mean, there's nothing to show that there's even is there anything to show that there's even a contract between us? I mean, is there?
This isn't a contract issue, Mr. Matson.
Well,
it's a criminal law
In order
issue.
for the
and
crime to exist, Your Honor, there must be an injured party. Is there an injured party? I mean, in the constitutional rights, Sheriff Vistas colon 481 F 945. In order for there to be a crime, there ought to be an injured party. If there's no injured party, there's no crime.
2 words. Drug test. This dude is clearly tweaking, and it's not even subtle at this point. Either he showed up high, or he's low-key crashing from not having access to his little stash while stuck in the hospital. Or maybe I'm just totally off, and he's actually just a complete idiot who can't form a sentence. You guys let me know in the comments. Do you think he's tweaking or just completely brainless? And for the record, you don't need an injured party to commit a crime. If you're out here threatening a judge or resisting arrest, that's still a crime, even if nobody got hurt. It's like saying you can rob a store as long as nobody cries about it. Somebody make it make sense.
Arguing the basis of your conviction, again, you pled guilty to this charge. What I'm asking you is whether, Mr. Matson, what I'm asking you is whether you'd wish to explain or challenge the accuracy or the relevancy of any of the information that is in your pre-sentence report. So is any of that information inaccurate?
Inaccurate as far as the person that reports they're trying to sentence in all caps names. It's not me. I'm a living flesh and blood man. You're after a fictional person.
All right. So with respect to that argument, what the court will say is that I will leave the information that is in the pre-sentence report and deny what seems to be some kind of a request to modify the pre-sentence report based on an argument that doesn't state any cognizable legal theory about a difference between Mr. Matson as a human being and Mr. Matson as something else. So the pre-sentence report will stand.
Well, Your Honor, you never even explained to me what the jurisdiction was. I tried from the beginning that
Mr. Matson,
the jurisdiction of the court is.
I'm going to mute Mr. Matson again because he continues to interrupt me with a line of argument that I don't even know what to say about it. It just is, it's not a legal argument at all. It is some kind of fanciful belief that there's a difference between Mr. Matson, the human being, and Mr. Matson as some other entity, which is not recognized by the law, and I'm not going to entertain it any further. The probation officers calculated the minimum sentencing guidelines in this case to be from 0 to 9 months. Do you agree with that computation of guidelines, Mr. Daly? I do. Thank you. Before the court passes sentence, Mr. Daly, is there anything you'd like to say on behalf of Mr. Matson?
I've had the same conversations with Mr. Matson the court's had. He's never wanted to talk about this case. He's always wanted to talk about what he perceived are constitutional issues. He pled guilty. He knew what he was doing. I do know that. I'm prepared to complete the sentencing now.
You can just tell his lawyer wants to go home so badly. Like you can practically see it on his face. Imagine being in this guy's shoes right now. Some random crackhead Facebook lawyer wannabe is out here trying to school you on the law after you spent over 7 years grinding through law school. I'd be looking for the emergency exit too, not gonna lie. But lucky for this sovereign citizen, the law says lawyers have to represent you no matter what, and still do their best, even if you're out here acting like a walking YouTube conspiracy video. Honestly, this lawyer deserves a massive vacation and maybe a therapist after dealing with this one.
All right, Mr. Mattson, in a moment, I'm going to unmute your microphone and I'm going to give you an opportunity for allocution. That's an opportunity to say anything that you'd like to say on your own behalf before the court passes sentence.
Yes, sir. Can you
All
hear
right,
me?
is there anything you'd like to say on your own behalf?
You said that I can say anything that I wish before sentencing.
You can.
I'm sorry, sir.
You can.
Okay. Yeah, yes, sir. Your Honor. I mean, before I took that plea, I told Mr. Daly that I wanted to sit there. I wanted him to sit there, get the cameras for the courts to prove that I was at the court date the day that I was put in jail, and said that that I wasn't in the court for a contempt of court. He said, and I told him I wanted to fight my case, but I had to be out because I had medical issues. Mr. Daly said that's fine and all, but if you stay here and you fight this case, they'll keep you in here for a year fighting your case. You will not be let out of jail. Your Honor, I couldn't do that. I was in major pain. I would have died in that jail. My proof is within the doctor's records in the hospital. I had a serious condition which would have left me dead within a week from the time that I took the plea. The following day after I got up, my wife was killed in a car accident. Just everything's been going downhill for me ever since. And now this with the courts. I don't feel that I've had a fair chance with the courts ever since I even started with the court, because the courts has not proven jurisdiction to me. I've not written any papers out agreeing in the contract saying that the courts can have any kind of jurisdiction over me. I have not relinquished any sovereign immunities that I have. I just don't feel like there's been anything fair, which is not going to be with the court system. I mean, I've tried to say I'm not a statutory person who is within your jurisdiction. If anything, I'd be considered constitutional, but I'm not even under the constitutional laws, but I will use them if I feel necessary as a constitutional living flesh and blood man. There is no injured party. The only injured party would be the state's laws, which the state cannot be the prosecutor, the injured party, and the judge. Nothing's right. The court case either had been dismissed or moved to a higher court. And I wasn't going to sit there and be left in jail to fight my case for a year. I would have been dead. I'd been stupid not to sit there and just agree with a plea that I didn't even agree with in the first place, just to save my life. I don't think that's fair at all. It's not right. There's nothing but wrong here.
I told him I wanted to fight my case, but I couldn't be out because of my medical issues. Mr. Daly said that's fine, but if I stayed in there and fought my case, they'd keep me in jail for a year without letting me out. Your Honor, I couldn't do that. I was in severe pain, and honestly, I would have died in there. My proof is in the doctor's records from the hospital. I have a serious condition that could have killed me within a week after I took the plea. The very next day after I got up, my wife was killed in a car accident. Everything's just been going downhill for me since then. Now this with the courts. I don't feel like I've had a fair chance with the courts at any point. From the beginning, the courts haven't proven jurisdiction over me. I haven't signed any papers or contracts, agreeing that the courts have authority over me. I haven't relinquished any of my sovereign rights, and I don't feel anything has been fair in this process. This isn't a fair court system. I've tried to make it clear I'm not a statutory person under your jurisdiction. I'd consider myself constitutional, but I'm not even under constitutional laws unless I choose to use them. I'm a living, flesh and blood man. There's no injured party here. The only injured party would be the state's laws, but the state can't act as both the prosecutor and the injured party. None of this is right. This case should either have been dismissed or moved to a higher court. I wasn't going to sit in jail for a year fighting my case, possibly dying in there. I would have been an idiot to just sit there and agree to a plea I didn't even agree with in the first place just to save my life. It's not fair. It's wrong. And there's no justice here, just injustice.
Constitutional person and a statutory person at the same time. Either you're one or the other. And Wi-Fi wasn't working properly on my computer. I couldn't draw up my own paperwork. I've been in nothing but severe pain. I've been able to move around and do much of anything for myself. The only one I've ever taken an oath to is God Almighty Himself. There's only one lawgiver, one creator, one judge. That's God Almighty. That's who I recognize. For me to sit there and agree to anything more than that would be me sitting there violating the laws of my God.
All right. In determining the appropriate sentence in this case, the court has considered the seriousness of your offense, your history, the principle of proportionality, the statutory penalty, the cost of confinement, the report and recommendation of the probation department, as well as what's been said on the record here this morning. The criteria and reasons for the sentence are the nature and gravity of the offense, the discipline appropriate to its commission, deterrence against repetition by you and by others, vindication for the law, and the protection of society. As indicated, with respect to these sovereign citizen or whatever the other arguments you're making are, we've dealt with the jurisdiction issue in the past. I've ruled on that on at least one occasion, probably multiple occasions, and that ruling is not going to change. You will have appellate rights if you want to pursue those. You're welcome to do that, but you have pled guilty in this case.
They finally get this idiot sovereign citizen back into the Zoom call, and yeah, things go downhill for him real quick from here. It's honestly too funny that he tries to use a doctor's appointment as an excuse. Classic sovereign citizen. Move. Like, bro really thought that was a solid reason to bail in the middle of the hearing.
Probation. Okay, he had sentencing this morning. He just left the sentence. Judge, I just spoke with a female at the number that he gave me, and she claims that he is at a heart doctor appointment at this time. That's what she's.
Oh, I'd bet money this sovereign citizen would go to the grave still believing in his little fantasy world. He could have a judge, a lawyer, and a skywriter all telling him the law, and he'd still argue with a YouTube comment as his source. Like, bro's got a perfect plea deal right in front of him, and he's either too stubborn or too clueless to realize it's literally his best shot in court. Instead, he's out here acting like he's about to unlock some secret level of the legal system. Let me know in the comments if you think this clown's actually going to make it through his probation, or if he's just going to crash and burn in record time.
Have everyone back with us now. Mr. Mattson, we are in a court proceeding right now, and so I'm going to ask you not to eat anything and to remove your hood. All right, I'm going to ask you to remove your hood also, Mr. Mattson. Thank you. Mr. Mattson pled guilty to one count of controlled substance, attempted possession of cocaine, heroin, or another narcotic of less than 25 grams. Pursuant to a plea agreement which dismissed one count of possession of cocaine, heroin, or another narcotic, dismissed one count of driving the license suspended, and one count of alcohol open container. So the agreement was to one count of attempted possession of a controlled substance, dismissal of the remaining charges, and that was apparently incorrect. There was no sentencing agreement in this case. This is Mr. Mattson's first felony conviction. He does have 4 prior misdemeanors. Those are all from 2015 or earlier. He has 2 2015 cases and a 2002 and a 2001. And so the recommendation in this case from the probation officer is for a period of 1 year probation. And I think that, well, it also, I should say, includes restrictions on alcoholic beverages and substance use. And I think that those provisions of terms of probation are appropriate given Mr. Mattson's Compass Needs Assessment scores. He did rate as highly probable in the categories of substance abuse, family criminality, residential instability, and social environment. He does have a substance abuse history of cocaine, fentanyl, painkillers since 2005.
I'm usually an optimist in most things in life, but when it comes to a crackhead sovereign citizen, I've got zero hope. I really want him to prove me wrong, badly, but I'm pretty much betting all my chips on him failing that drug test, with flying colors. He's got that I swear I'm clean vibe right before the test comes back glowing. On top of that, he's got a fork over $1,700 in court fees, which I'm pretty sure he thinks is a violation of his imaginary rights. Let me know what you guys think about that sentencing, because I honestly don't see this ending well for him.
Where it comes from, but I will say Mr. Mattson would be far better off taking legal advice from Mr. Daly than from wherever it is that you're getting it to make you believe these arguments, because as I've ruled repeatedly, there's just no merit to them. They're not rational or coherent arguments under the law. And the concern that raises with me is that Mr. Mattson, if he does not believe this court has jurisdiction, why then would he follow the terms of his probation? And so if that's the question, then the question I have to ask myself is why would I put him on probation if there doesn't seem to be any indication that he would follow the terms of the probation? The other side of that coin is that I think a lot of this stems from Mr. Mattson's substance abuse issues, and the better way to get him help for his substance abuse issues is to put him on probation and get him into some kind of services to help him deal with that. So ultimately, Mr. Mattson, I'm going to give you a chance at probation. I hope that you are willing to comply with the requirements that are outlined in terms of your probation, which I'll read to you word for word in a moment so that you're aware of them. If you choose not to comply for the reasons you've stated or any other reasons, you can rest assured you're going to find yourself in violation of the terms of your probation. And then I am going to be imposing other penalties, meaning for you jail time. And I'll just tell you now, it'll be a short leash, because if we continue down this road, I'm already suspect of your ability to comply. So any violations are just going to confirm that for me, and you're going to find that I'm going to lose my willingness to give you a chance. So it will be the sentence of the court that you serve a period of probation for 1 year, that you serve 29 days in the Lenawee County Jail with credit for 29 days served. You must not use or possess alcoholic beverages or other intoxicants. You must not enter bars or other places where the primary purpose is to serve alcoholic beverages for drinking on site, unless the field agent has first given you written permission.
Let me know in the comments if you guys think this genius sovereign citizen is actually going to beat this case by somehow making it through probation. I'll be keeping track of your votes, so don't hold back. But yeah, this dude is definitely a special case, and not the kind your mom says you are. I literally lost at least 13 brain cells just watching this hearing, and now I've got a full-blown headache trying to process what I just saw. But hey, I really hope you guys enjoyed this mess, because I definitely did, in the most painful way possible. If there's a part 2 to this court disaster, you already know I'll post it ASAP. In the meantime, make sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what you think about this sovereign citizen in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care, everybody.